healthy tech habits to help kids thrive. We're going to walk through 4 simple principles, step by step, and hopefully there will be little things within each of these that will get you thinking and maybe cause you to change some things or think about the way you use tech or the tone that you're setting at home. Hello, everyone. It's great to be with you. I will share my slides. So if you could give me a thumbs up. Can everybody see that? We good to go? Excellent. Okay. Well, it's great to be with you. Again, I'm Joshua. We think the world of this team and the work they're doing. So we're really, really excited for this partnership. And I hope tonight that you can leave with one practical action step, one takeaway that you can implement to think about your kids in tech, your students in tech, or maybe even your own relationship with tech. So that's the goal. That's the vision for our time together. Well, you might be wondering, who is this guy and what qualifies him to be talking to me about this stuff? And that's a great question. So like KP said, I'm Joshua. My background is in media strategy. It's working with brands, companies, even ministries to try to reach more people online. And the more time I've spent doing that, the more I realize how addictive so many of the platforms are that we're on, that our kids are on, and how many of them are monetized off our attention. So their goal is to keep us looking at our screens. And when you pair that with the fact that my wife, Alexa, has spent 4 years in the classroom as an educator, I've felt the impact of all this tech firsthand. I've seen it in my own life. But even hearing the stories from Alexa of how it's affecting students as young as first grade even, that is what brought me to Parent ProTech. And now at Parent ProTech, we have a whole team dedicated to this work. We have parents, tech experts, across the board, former educators who all help us push this mission forward. And we say our goal at the end of the day is if we can help prevent one student from being cyberbullied or becoming addicted to a screen, or falling deeper and deeper into a darker spot because with their mental health because of something that started on tech, that's a win for us. So that's why we do what we do. Now, at the outset, I want to make it clear, I'm not here to tell you tech is all bad. I'm not here to tell you you need to get your kids off any tech, throw it away, get rid of the phone, get rid of the video games. That's not my top priority because, hey, I realize so many of us and many of our kids and students, they're using tech, whether we like it or not. But our goal is to help you have a good picture of the good, the bad, the ugly that comes with tech and be able to make informed decisions and start conversations with your families as a result. So that's the goal here. Okay. I'd love for everybody, get your typing fingers ready. Open that little chat box if you haven't, or feel free to go off mute. And I would love to hear if anyone's willing to share what was your favorite tech from childhood. So I'm going to open up the chat. I know we have a few with us. So come on, what was that tech that you grew up with that you loved? Speak and Spell from KP. Atari from Veronica. That's good. Anybody else got any favorites? KP, I'm gonna be honest, I don't even know what Speak and Spell is. So
Well, I'll find a picture and a video, and you're going to be amazed, is what you're going to be like. Oh, thank
I
goodness, technology has emerged.
I can't wait. I can't wait. Chanel says Oregon Trail. That's a big one. Oregon Trail. Wow. These are some of the big innovations we've gotten over the years. She says I'm old. No, you're not. No, you're not. Uh, if we go back over the past 60 years, we had the first live color TV broadcast in the 50s. We got the mouse, the scroll click mouse in the 60s, email in the 70s, the Walkman in the 80s. Anybody have a Walkman? In the 90s, we got the Nintendo 64. In the 2000s, the iPhone. And now in the 2010s and beyond, we have so much wearable tech from the Apple Watch to even my wife wears a fitness ring now that tracks so much of her health data. So it's wild to see how far our tech has advanced. Okay, now let's fast forward. What's some of the apps, some of the tech that you hear your students or your kids or the young people in your life talk about the most? What are the games? What are the apps? I'm willing to bet it's some of these. Veronica says YouTube, Chanel, Roblox. Yep. TikTok, Fortnite, Minecraft. Many of them are even already using AI, ChatGPT, Google Bard, Instagram, or Google Gemini, rather. It was Google Bard. Now it's Google Gemini, Instagram, Snapchat. Yep. KP says Snapchat. Yep. What's the takeaway? Well, why do we start with this? Because I just want us to all think about how far we've come. Hey, when it comes to tech today, it has evolved so much. It's constantly changing. So I say, take a deep breath. We are all figuring this out for the first time. And I think there's nothing that fully captures how far we've come like a few stories. And I'd encourage you, take a second and read these comments because they will brighten your day. I'll read a couple for you. This is comments from people sharing about their own tech challenges in their families. One person says, years ago, when McDonald's first advertised free Wi-Fi in store, my aunt went up to the counter and asked for 2 free Wi-Fis, please. And then the second one, when I got engaged, my mom tried to share my engagement post on her Facebook, but instead changed her status to being engaged to my now husband. KP says these are amazing. Yeah, I mean, this just illustrates our tech is changing so much. And one day, if you're on this call, this will be us. Our kids and grandkids will be laughing at us and saying, "Wow, they're so out of touch." But hey, this is the nature of where tech has brought us. So this is the gap. This is the challenge. I feel like, and many times it feels like we're over here on one side of the image, and then on the other side where you see the red arrow, that's where the young people are in our lives. And it's like this massive gap. And how do we connect the dots? And just to paint the picture as we think about tech, and I know some of you may already know this, but how much time daily does the average US teen spend on a screen for entertainment? Any guesses? Feel free, throw it in the chat. Go off mute and share it if you want to. Anybody got a guess? How many hours daily just for entertainment, not for education? Chanel says, Veronica says 3. Chanel says 8, 5 plus. The correct answer is 8.5 hours on a screen just for entertainment. So whether we like it or not, the next generation, our kids or students are spending so much time on tech. It's shaping them. And so I think when we can understand it, we're better positioned and at least understand a thing or two and know how to start conversations with them. We're going to be better positioned. So this is what we're going to talk about for the rest of our time tonight. Healthy tech habits to help kids thrive. We're going to walk through 4 simple principles, step by step. And hopefully there will be little things within each of these that will get you thinking and maybe cause you to change some things or think about the way you use tech or the tone that you're setting at home. So we're going to walk through each one, but these are the 4 principles. Number 1, look in the mirror. It's about modeling. Number 2, we're going to talk about starting the conversation and mentorship. Number 3, we're going to talk about teaching tech as a tool, not a friend. It's about mindfulness. And number 4, we're going to talk about creating healthy tech boundaries. Okay, let's start at the top with modeling. Looking in the mirror. Would you believe that nearly half of American parents say they feel addicted to their smartphones? And I know many of us, we feel like we can't go a day or a moment without one of these. And so my challenge is, if you're on this call, I challenge you, grab your device, grab your phone, unlock it. So again, grab your phone, unlock it, go to settings on your own phone, and you can search. If you have an iPhone, you can search screen time. If you have an Android, you can search digital well-being. I'd encourage you, go to that and take a look at the numbers that you see. And if you don't have screen time set up, you can easily toggle it on. But again, settings, screen time, click on that and take a minute to look at what you're spending time on your device. And I would encourage you to ask yourself, hey, am I proud of this? Am I proud of how much time I'm spending on each app or platform? And if the answer is no, it might be time to make a change. And as part of this, it's also important for each of us to think, what are we sharing online? You don't have to share everything. And whether it's AI or online predators, there's so much that can go on based on what we share. And so I think it's so important that we set the tone and lead the way, especially with kids, in knowing what's okay to share and what's not okay to share. And a good example is, hey, if it's personal, private information, like your full name, your family's address, your family's names, the city or town that you live in, your neighborhood, your school, things like that, it probably doesn't need to be shared online, especially doesn't need to be shared publicly. A good little tip that we love to share with students is post like a celebrity. If you ever look at any big celebrity, and you'll notice that they're very intentional about what they share so as to not reveal too much of their privacy. And so a challenge for all of us is, hey, tell your kids, let's do the same thing. And this goes to our families too. Take a minute to think about before you share a photo or an image of your child, your spouse. Is this something that I would be glad I shared, that they would be glad I shared down the road? Because the reality is, there are many, even archives, that capture pages and pages from across the web. That even if something is deleted or archived or changed down the road, you can recover older versions of things that are shared online. So the takeaway is, once it's shared online, it's out there. So our students need to think about, hey, before I press send or share, or before I click that, before I tap that, I need to be thinking twice. We hear of job offers rescinded, college admissions offers rescinded, all because of things that were shared online. So this is just a good thing for us to all keep in mind. So what are we modeling? Number two, it's about mentorship, starting the conversations. And I would say there's not one key conversation that needs to happen. There are many different conversations that need to happen on this front. And let's start with this one. Does anyone, let me know in the chat, feel free to go off mute. Does anyone know who this is? Who is this? He's been in the news even a lot recently, even as recent as this week. And if you don't know who this is Mr. Beast. His name is Jimmy Donaldson. He's the world's largest YouTuber. He also has an unscripted reality show called Beast Games. He just released season 2 as of last week. Now, even if you are not familiar with who this is, Mr. Beast, I guarantee you your students are. And a year ago, I got to spend some time with his team, and I learned a lot. And it really helps shape so much of what we do, but especially so much of the conversations that I think we need to be having. And when I was talking with Mr. Beast's team, they asked me a question that stuck with me. They said, Joshua, if you had to guess, when we share a video on YouTube, what is our number one goal? What's Mr. Beast's number one goal when they share a video? Now, I got to thinking, I'm like, okay, when you share a video, your top goal is probably, I mean, you want to keep people watching. You want them to watch more Mr. Beast videos. You want more of their attention. You want them to stay on the Mr. Beast channel. That's what I was thinking. And I said that. And they said, you're almost there, but not quite. They said, our number one goal is to keep people on YouTube. When they watch a Mr. Beast video, we want them to keep them on the platform of YouTube, because the better you are at keeping people on YouTube, the more YouTube will suggest your content, because the more ads YouTube can show, the more money they can make. At the end of the day, so much of this goes back to money. So Mr. Beast's team, put simply, their goal is to keep our kids on YouTube longer, on the social media platform of YouTube. And now they do a lot of great philanthropic work. But I say that to say, hey, when you think about a number of the top platforms that our kids and students are on, that we're on, this is how they're built. We have some of the most highly skilled, highly paid teams in tech working on products that are designed to capture our attention, to sustain our attention, to keep us coming back for more. And so when you see two photos like this illustrates what I'm talking about when it comes to attention. Okay, if you are driving down the interstate, you see either of these, which one are you going to stare at longer? Which one's going to take you aback? Anyone in the chat? Which one of these is going to get your attention more? And if you're like most people, the answer is the photo on the left. Yeah, it's the wreck. We're naturally drawn to look at things that scare us, that make it fill us with fear. It's evolutionary. We do it because we want to stay safe. We want to protect ourselves. But the challenge is sometimes you and I will look at things, and social media platforms will suggest things that will keep our attention. They'll keep us looking, but they might not always be things we want to see. And so this is the challenge. And we say, when it comes to, as we're talking about conversations that are worth having, this is a big one. But another one is talking to your kids about everything that they will encounter online. As we say, it's not if they're going to see something, it's more a matter of when. So whether that's cyberbullying, whether that's pornography or violent content, explicit content, they're likely going to encounter it. If they're on one of these smartphones, if they're playing an online video game connected with other people, they're going to encounter this stuff. So would you rather than be hearing about it from someone at school or someone online, or from you in a safe space? That's a great thing to keep in mind. And as we talk about content, especially right now, even Common Sense Media says the average age kids are first exposed to pornography online as young as 12 years old. And there was another study recently that suggested many are seeing it as early as 8. And that haunts us. That is, it's hard to process, but that's the challenge. So the takeaway for all of us is, hey, we need to be having conversations. We need to be having conversations about what our kids will encounter when they're online. That's number 2. Number 3, what does it look like to teach tech as a tool and not a friend? We're going to talk about AI, and we're going to talk about the mindful use of tech and where we're headed. And there's a quick game we got to play. I just love it. And it's real or AI generated. So I have a couple quick videos here, and I would love for you hop in the chat. Let me know, does this look real or AI generated? What do you think? What do we think? Real or AI? It's just beautiful walk down this scenic European coastline. Is this real or is it AI? KP says AI, and you're correct. It's AI. Good guess. Good guess. Okay, what about right here? Real or AI? Oh, looks like the video is taking a moment to load. Let's see what about this one? Real or AI? And actually, let me explain. One of these is real, one is AI. Which one do you think is AI? Right or left? Right or left? Real on right, left AI. It was close, but the right is actually AI. The left is the real one. Let's try one more. What do we think? Real or AI? Riding a motorbike. It's a beautiful tropical area. Chanel says me 20 years ago. I love it. I love it. Is this real or is it AI? Any guesses? Well, I want that to be real and I want to be there. Katie says, yeah, yeah. Well, I had to throw a real one in here just with all the AI. That one is in fact real. But the takeaway here is, hey, it's really hard to to tell what's real and what's fake online. The line is blurring. We've reached a point where experts say there is more AI content being shared online than real content. So every day, the new photos, videos, images, text that's being generated, that's being shared, there is more of it that's generated by artificial intelligence than what's generated by our human brains. And so now it's more important now than ever that we check sources, that we verify that the information that we see is coming from a reputable source. We can't just take what we see at face value. And to take this a step further, right now, as of late last year, College Board found that 84% of high school students are using generative AI for schoolwork. So over 8 out of 10 report using AI for schoolwork. But to take it another step forward, almost 3 out of 4 US teens say they've used AI companions at least once. And now the important distinction here is an AI chatbot like ChatGPT or Google Gemini, It can certainly simulate human conversation and emotion, but it's more so designed for productive purposes, educational purposes, is where it can really excel and thrive. But there are many companion chatbots that are out there that are targeting students specifically that are designed just to simulate friendship, companionship, even romantic relationships. And when you look at this number, this is this is the world that our students are stepping into. So I would encourage you. We have a video on Parent ProTech where we talk about using AI as a tool and not a friend. And this is really important that we need to be having these conversations with our kids because they're surrounded by this tech. Their friends are going to be using this tech, and they need to be aware of the limitations of the tech and how, hey, it can do a great job at talking like a human might. But at the end of the day, there's not a human behind that. There's no emotion. There's no real connection. And our students need to understand that when they're using these chatbots. So that's number three. Number four is a challenge for all of us. And it's how can we create healthy tech boundaries, healthier tech boundaries. It's about mentors. It's about monitoring. And I think wherever we're at, we can all take a little step in the right direction on this front. This data point comes from me. It is, I say 99.9% of tech challenges originate from moments when students have unlimited access to tech, typically late at night, typically away or disconnected from their families, time and time again. And these moments are largely preventable. So I say it's far better if you can use tech in your home, make it a communal thing. Place the video game console in a living room instead of a detached bonus room. Set limits where maybe there's no tech at the dinner table, no tech in bedrooms at night. That's a big recommendation we have. And if you do allow tech in bedrooms, pick a set time where you pull it back out, where everyone leaves their devices, their screens in a central location at night. These things they may sound small, but they can make a big difference. And we say, hey, whenever you can make tech a relational thing is far better than it being an isolated thing. So if you can watch a movie on a TV in the living room with the whole family, that's far better than your child spending hours scrolling on TikTok. So something to keep in mind. Hey, how can we create these boundaries? How can we continue to monitor? We have lots of guides on Parent ProTech, things where if you have questions about the tech your child loves, if you need some conversation starters, if you need help with parental controls or even setting up your home network to be safe for your family, we have guides for all of it. We even have a K through 12 curriculum. And if you go to our website, you can sign up for our newsletter where we're staying on top of tech changes and challenges so you can not only be aware of them, but know how to respond. Okay, as we're wrapping up, I want to leave us with a challenge. I know we began talking about many different types of tech and apps, platforms that our students love, that we hear about, whether it's TikTok, Minecraft, Roblox, Snapchat, Instagram, the list goes on. I could go on and on. My challenge is for you to think about your child, your student, the young people that you're close to in your life. Maybe you're a grandparent, maybe you're an aunt and uncle. Whatever your relationship, think about the tech that they love. And I challenge you and I challenge all of us to take 20 minutes this week and spend time with them in that environment. Maybe ask them to teach you about Roblox. Maybe ask them if you can play Roblox with them. I promise you won't win, so you can just give up any notion of that happening. But it can be a great opportunity to learn more about why they love that game. And more importantly, you can learn a lot about their personality and about their interests by what they're building, who they're interacting with, what types of avatars they're creating and things they're creating. So I would say take 20 minutes and maybe if you're not close in proximity to that young person, take some time to learn about the app or platform they love and then ask them about it. Ask them to teach you. Ask them a question and we have heard some of the best stories of parents and students having some great conversations just by parents showing a willingness to learn and a willingness not just to say, hey, I'm here to take the device and put it away. No, but to actually be interested in what their students doing and how they can learn more about them in that space.